computers. That's one of the IELTS Part 1 speaking topics. Here's some Band 9 model answers. Feel free to take ideas, words and phrases, but remember to use them with your examples and about your life so you can really bring out your personality and seem really natural in the exam. Let's go. Now let's talk about computers. How often do you use a computer? To be honest, I use it several times a day. In fact, some days I do wake up and it's one of the first things that I turn on and one of the last things that I turn off. And when I'm not using a computer, which is one of my several laptops, I'll be using a phone, which is kind of a computer as well. So maybe that's a negative thing. But I do use it for work, studying, recreation, yeah, you name it, it's useful for doing something. What do you generally use a computer for? Just about everything these days. Work, studying, note-taking, watching films, yeah, just use it too much. Also modern life, it just revolves around the computer more naturally now. So we do all our shopping online, shopping for groceries, weekly shop. I do my banking online, monitor bills, pay bills, communicate with friends, talk to family abroad, WhatsApp, Skype, yeah, the list goes on. Sounds quite bad actually. What kinds of computers are popular in your country? The most popular would probably be the Apple MacBooks, the MacBook Pro and some iPads, but the Apple products also tend to be the most expensive. The user experience tends to be a bit greater on them, but in terms of the ones that are most commonly used, I think that would actually be a DELL, because they're slightly cheaper and the specs that you get for them are much less, so smaller businesses and they tend to use DELLs, and personal computers tend to be, yeah, DELLs or other makes are quite popular as well, HP, Samsung, Sony. Who taught you how to use a computer? I'm not sure actually. Probably a lot of people taught me how to do a lot of different things. So just to unpack that a little, maybe the first time I used a computer was maybe with my dad, who might have showed me some accountancy software that he was using. I learned to use a lot of things myself just by playing with a computer. There was friends that taught me how to program or introduced me to it, and a lot of things I learned myself. And yeah, there are things still I'm learning now. So YouTube tends to be a good place to learn things, different forums, yeah, technical groups on Facebook where people can share problems and come up with solutions together. So yeah, there's no single person, it's lots of people. When was the first time you used a computer? I suppose I was too young to remember exactly, but I must have been around about 3 or 4 years old, and I went to my cousin's house, and these cousins, they were older than me, so they introduced me to playing computer games. So when our parents were doing, you know, boring adult things like talking, I'd be playing some very crude game that was maybe had 4-bit graphics on their Amstrad or whatever it was back in the day. Yeah, it was good fun though, really good fun. Do you think computers have changed your life? Really, I think they've changed everyone's lives in a lot of ways. There are very few places that are left unchanged by technology. But on a personal level, yeah, the way that I communicate with people, the way that I work, the way that I find jobs, the way that I talk to my family, yeah, all of this is facilitated by technology and computers. There is few aspects of my life that are untouched by computers now. I suppose the only ones where I don't use any sort of technology are for my sports and going outside, doing a lot of biking and hiking. But then again, you know, I buy all that equipment online and I can compare things. So yes, that has affected that area of my life as well. If these Band 9 answers helped you to answer questions about computers more easily,
computers,
make sure you don't miss this next topic, which is also being given to test takers now.